Good morning, traders and investors. Dale Sugg with the Trader Boys. We have the markets up slightly this morning. We get the S&P up 21 points, up 0.7, 87 points in the Nasdaq, 163 in the Dow, and pushing almost 10 points here on the Russel 2000. So about 3/4% all the way here. Oil this morning down slightly, down 17 cents. We're trading 39.76 here. Gold's on the move up. Gold here, our upper supply level. So I'll see you through the chart there. Here's the S&P on the daily time frame. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're all slightly down there. So we had a small retracement here in the markets. The market played out exactly as we said last week. We'd get the pop, right? We'd come up into this area here. We didn't quite hit the supply level up here, and we'd start to drop. So the question now becomes, this week is going to be very interesting to see how we play out here. At this point in time, my expectations is we do come up. And keep pushing down. What's against me there is on this up leg here, on this move up here, there was next to no strength behind that. It just couldn't push through. So we've got a lot of weakness in that up move there. On the downside, there's really been no intent behind the selling here just yet. So we shall see. So we gapped down on the overnight there on the Sunday night trade, and we pushed up so far in the overnight transaction. So we'll see here. You can see we're below this lower trend line. It's providing a resistance. Every time we get up to it, we push down. So there is still demand below us on the Russel 2000. This is the 1 hour time frame. Back down to this demand level. Now we've broken through that demand, so that demand is now no longer in play. And this is the overnight trades of last night. But you'll see we came right back above that lower trend line through here and pushed off that lower trend line, and the Russell is moving to the upside here as well. So there's a little supply in here that we can look at. It's been pretty heavily traded in the past back here in this price area. So it's definitely institutional action here. So we may get a run up into this supply level, right, and then to get the push down. So we're going to get below this lower trend line. So this area here, we can now longer know it does not exist. It got taken out in the overnight trade there. So now we're looking down in this demand zone down in the bottom here. Would be our next area of demand. So for the day traders out here, this is the move that you could be looking for, is coming off of the supply, down into demand, and we just got to get through this lower trend line. If the market does find strength, right, let's get through this supply level here and see if we can't go both base, get the breakout trade up into the upper supply level. So we're coming into demand here. If you want to take a little trade off that, you can. You don't have the highest probability in your favor right there. The Nasdaq, let's take a look. Nasdaq on the trend lines has just been absolutely unreal. Down below the trend line, right back to it, down to the next trend line. So this is the opening of the markets last night, and just right off that lower trend line, right into the upper trend line, down, and now we're through the trend line and using it as support. So Nasdaq should be able to get back into our higher supply level here that we posted and talked about Friday, that created the move down into here where we had our demand zone. So Nasdaq's looking to push off that support level of the trend line right now. That's going to help the trade on the Russell to move north as well. Here we got the 10-year Treasury note bonds. Bonds have been up into our supply level on the 1 hour time frame here. So I look for, if the market's going to rise here, we should expect to see bonds drop. They do have an inverse correlation to each other. We may get back up to this upper trend line and then look for that drop. So right now there's really nothing to update or report on the bond market here. This is the daily time frame. You can see we're right up near that trend, the supply level, and we can look for the drop. Right? Now this is what I really want to see. I really want to see the bonds drop, interest rates rise, and put this market into where it should be in relation to economic conditions. And last one here is gold. Gold, we're looking at this supply level here. We traded right off our demand level, right to our supply level, retraced off our supply level. Now, in the overnight transactions, we broke through that supply level, so that one there is now gone. It doesn't exist. We're up into the upper supply. Expect gold to continue through the supply and keep moving north. So there's a transaction here you can look for on gold as a swing trade to a longer term trade. and that is looking for the entry to take on the upside, and we can expect a pretty good run on gold here. From the longer term perspective on more of an investment basis. So break out above these highs here, get long gold, and look for the run up. Quick look into a big name Nasdaq stocks here. Here's Apple. Apple went up. We're going sideways. If the market is to move to the upside, and it's going to be these big tech stocks that are going to do it if it does, look for the breakout transaction here on a daily. So you can look for a swing trade here. Break above this high here, get long Apple. We've got Amazon here. You can do the same thing on Amazon here. Get above this high here. You can take the breakout on Amazon. They've come off their lows and just continue to just drive higher. Netflix is in the supply level here. Netflix is going to be opening this morning. Yeah, we're at 455.17 on Netflix there. So we're still inside this supply level. So be very cautious of Netflix. If the market is to drop, Netflix is actually a phenomenal short. You got a lot of room to the downside here on Netflix. You've got to work with the Nasdaq on that one. If the Nasdaq's moving north, right, this supply level is going to break, and it's going to break out to the upside. If the Nasdaq starts to drop and get weakness in this market, we will see Netflix is a phenomenal short. So ideally, we've got a supply level here. You can take the entry here, put your stop loss just above, and you have a limited risk with a massive downside potential. Now, if you want to increase and stack the odds more so in your favor, you take the trade breaking below this low. Right now, there is demand here, so you got to kind of look at your trade plan and how you want to trade this. This here is on Facebook. Same sort of principle. Facebook has its base. We break above the 241.21 here, and you've got a breakout trade in your hands there. Last one here is Microsoft. Microsoft was one of the trades we posted last week into the demand zone, and it's still sitting up here. So Microsoft is still showing strength. We haven't broke its previous day's lows here, and Microsoft is going to be opening higher today. So there's still upside potential on Microsoft. Have a phenomenal trading week as these markets play out, and give us a little bit more information and detail here. We'll be updating you on what's your next move in, what happens next, and where the institutions' unfilled buy and sell orders are, so you know where the market's going to turn points before your market even get there.